All right, all right, all right. Welcome, you loyal listeners, to another episode of Agents Influence Podcast, conversations with me, Jason Cass. Now, this one could go either way because Jon Spaugy owns an agency. We are going to talk about the things that happen, but we're not going to get so agency specific today. We're actually going to be talking about the industry and the things going on around that. As you know, Jon is a successful agency owner, so he probably is just as clueless as I am when it comes to policies and some of the techniques and stuff that happen in our agency. I'm telling you, Jon, someone was asking me the other day, how many employees I have. I'm like, it's not that I have a lot. It's like I'm sitting here going, shit, I don't know, who's in personal lines? I don't know, I got people that do this stuff, so, and that's not bragging. That's where every agent should be. And I learned that from you, especially around your 50th birthday. Jon Spaugy, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you, my man. Very happy to be here. I was looking forward to this one, baby.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun. It's always fun to have you around. And whether they're probably listening, some of them will watch the YouTube, but if they're listening, or if they're just listening, tell them where you are, Jon.
I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada right now. So I was going to come out here for my birthday and anniversary and Valentine's Day, and then decided to stay here a little bit longer.
So everybody knows you have a spot. You have a house there or a condo there and a place back.
Yes. We actually
Rancho Cucamonga?
Veer Towers, right in front of Aria.
Yep, it's beautiful. And then what's the name of the town in California? Rancho Cucamonga?
Rancho Cucamonga.
That is one of the damnedest, craziest names I've ever heard in my life. But yeah. So anyways, so Jon, we haven't had you, on, and holy cow, super long time. So what would you, there's been a lot change. How old are you now? Did you just have your birthday?
Yeah, I just had my birthday and my anniversary. So I'm
how old are you
54
now?
years old and 21 years happy.
It's not 54 like damn 54. That's not where this is coming from. That's super young, but it's damn, I can't believe you're 54 considering it seemed like yesterday when we were partying in Vegas for your 50th birthday, Seriously.
Yeah, time is just zooming by.
Fuck. Damn, it's zooming by. It sure is. So, dude, lots changing out there. We got a lot going on out in the insurance industry. Tech is just absolutely changing faster than anybody. And you've been in this longer than most people who are watching or reading. What the hell's wrong with me? Watching or listening to this podcast. A lot going out there right now in the industry, Jon.
Yeah, California got hit super hard. I know a lot of the other states are going through it too. The nice thing with the other states is they're able to actually get some rate relief, where California, being California, been really restrictive, and it's knocked out a lot of markets, and it's really tough when you are just lucky to find a place to put a client at this point.
Mm-hmm. And Jon, you're always been kind of a company guy. You're an agency owner, but that your background was company. So I think sometimes you have relationships and you have conversations with companies that sometimes I don't think agency owners like myself normally do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think one of the easiest thing for the reps with me with a conversation is the fact that I've been in that position and understand it. Mm-hmm. So now, rather than trying to justify why we should be able to write business and all that, I kind of get the company point a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So it makes it I agree. I know it makes it a lot easier conversation for marketing reps to talk to me because I've been through it and I know exactly what they're doing.
Okay, so where do you think is different from when you were still in the insurance inside the insurance side? Because it was around 40, right, when you became an agency owner? Am I right about that?
Yeah, I was almost 45 when I switched over to being an agency owner. Okay. And then prior to that, it was a good 15, 20 years being a rep.
What do you think has been the biggest change in the last 15 to 20 years in the insurance industry?
So probably the biggest thing is the technology side and the fact that we don't have to get face-to-face with clients. Some people see that as a bad thing. Good point. I actually see that as a good thing. Like you said, tech and all that was kind of taken over. We were becoming a commodity-based thing. All it did is make us as agents what we do best is communicate with our clients. It just made us be able to communicate with them the same as the big companies.
I agree.
So what that's actually done, in my opinion, is again obviously we're super valuable to the industry still. Just the way that we can communicate in that we just got the same tools that they have. So it's not that we're being replaced. It's that we're being able to communicate with them the same as the big carriers in that.
Right. You know, here's the crazy thing about that tech. You alluded to that. And I mean, here we are. It's February 16th, loyal listeners. It's 1:34 in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. And where we're going with this technology is unbelievable, because all we've known is that the insurance industry is a slow industry. You know what? It's not anymore. It may still be slow to adapt, but it's not a slow industry. Things are changing so fast, so much. And recently, I watched a gentleman who has a ChatGPT equivalent. He's been working on it for a couple years. That's built inside the browser of your computer. And because of that, it records everything that's been going on. And John, someone could sit down on any computer in your agency, and it would tell you within 2 seconds who that person is, just by typing in the way that places that you go. And so you start to look at this, and this really, one of these gentlemen that was talking to me when we were talking about Indie Tech, he said, Jason, the industry will not be able to control the speed at which things are getting ready to move. And I said, what do you mean? He said, the technology, AI, there will not be a need for integrations and APIs once AI is actually rolling in the next 2 to 4 years. And here we come. We've tried to, I mean, no one knew what an API was in 2015, John. And now Here we are in 2023, and we're talking about having something else take that over. And when you think about that, the integrations and those pipelines of those APIs are controlled by the carrier. But if we can go around that and actually, I mean, shit starts to get, if I was the carriers, I'd be just like Google. I'd be a little nervous. What do you think about that, John?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the best way that we do this is we're able to use the tools that we're given, and then we're able to integrate it into a different way. It's kind of the same thing where they're saying, like, with tech coming out, like, you just have to learn a different skill set, right? So if you have somebody that can, if you have ChatGPT that can do, figure people out and stuff like that, there's still that human element to it. There's still that sales element that's going to be at the end. At the end is to finish the sale up. So you're just getting tools to help you get there faster. Is the way that I see it. Is, again, the more that this technology comes on, the more that we're able to integrate it, the more that we're able to get the customer service work done. That's actually the more time that we have to go out and prospect, right? And to actually get into people's homes again, or get into people's businesses, where before we were kind of getting away from that. Now with this technology that we have, we can get to the buzzwords, we can get to the personality traits a lot faster, right?
Right.
And then we can get down to actually selling the product.
How hard is it to be able to find out, to get a client to answer your email, right? One of the cool things that we do is that we have video proposals, and through Advisory Evolved, and when it sends it to us, or sends it to them, anytime they watch it, it notifies us. And we've noticed that we have a much higher closing ratio. They pick up the phone right then, get the person on the phone. They're usually watching the video, right? AI inside our browser allows us to know what somebody else is doing. So, like, if I'm trying to email you, John, and I need you to answer, if my AI is talking to your AI, my AI will find out when you're getting ready to get onto your computer. Or it will say, hey, John is more likely to be on Mondays during this time, because that's the pattern John always usually comes up with. It'll start to help us, as you're talking about, that communication, that marketing, because guess what? There's a lot of times that John may be looking at something from me, but he doesn't necessarily want to pick up the phone and call me, but he would like to discuss it at that point in time. If there was a way that I could reach out to you at that time and say, John, you got time? Oh, shit. Yeah, Jason. How many times have we made that phone call? And someone goes, damn, I'm glad you called. I was sitting here looking at this stuff. How do we make that happen more easily? And I think AI technology is going to be the one that's going to help us with that.
Isn't that exactly how it is now? Again, we go to a lot of the shows, we go out and we get bombarded with email, right? Or we start getting the calls right after. But it's not the time for us to do it. And then you start feeling really bad because you're like, all right, this guy has emailed me a couple times or called me a couple times, but I'm not ready to talk yet.
Right.
So imagine having that ability. I'll take it back to like a real basic thing. So when I worked with AIG, we were probably one of the first companies to get BlackBerries. So what would happen is if an agent was putting in an application to get an appointment with us, like you said, it's the timing when it comes out. We would actually get the text like, hey, this guy's looking for an appointment. So the coolest thing that I could ever do when I was a marketing rep with AIG is as soon as I seen that come in, I would call them and say, hey, I seen you put your application in. I'm going to get a chance. I'm going to look it over. Back then, again, that's a small thing, but it was such a big thing back then. So instantly, as soon as you had interest in it, it popped up and somebody gave you a call on it.
But John, you're going to have iPhone. You're going to have an AI on your phone. I'm going to have AI on my phone, which is going to start helping us understand and finding different AI. But when I talk about AI, I don't talk about Siri, right? You have Siri, any other iPhone. I'm talking about a personalized. And so as I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like if I send you an email and the AI tells me the best time, that's actually terrible AI. I think my AI will talk to your AI and say, hey, let me know when's a good time that John's going to be talking about this. Inside John's browser, he sees me open up that proposal. The AI calls my AI and says, hey, John happens to be looking at this right now. And then boom, I can call John. See how that goes? It's almost like our personal assistant that literally knows us. You know what I mean? That literally knows us. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that, but there's a lot changing. There is a lot changing. You're talking about that. And then when you're talking as you're going back to, out there in California, I don't understand how you guys afford any, and I'm not talking about the economy and everything, taxes. I'm talking insurance. I don't understand how in the hell with these fires and everything you guys have, how you're able to, how your market still goes.
Yeah, this one, I can tell you, 32 years of doing this, this is, the only time it was probably worse is when Prop 103 first went through.
What was that? Which one was that?
So that's the proposition that made basically California different than any other state. So,
okay.
As far as insurance goes. So when that happened, what happened is the insurance company says, you know what, I no longer control what customers I want and don't want. If they are technically good drivers, don't have any tickets or accidents, wherever they're at, like, we have to take them. So all the companies took their ball and left. There was very few companies in the state at the time. And the companies that were here, basically some of them went from 15% commission down to 10% overnight. So imagine, like, I wasn't an owner at that time. I just worked in an agency. But overnight that happened.
33% of your income.
This time, and what's happening this time is very similar. They're not able to keep up with the rising costs in that. And what different from California compared to a lot of states, not all, but the insurance commissioner is an elected position. So they haven't let the insurance companies have a rate increase in the last couple years.
Oh, wow.
The other thing that happens in California is when they do ask for a rate increase, they're probably going to only ask for a 6.9% rate increase. And the reason for that is if they ask for more, the DOI can come in and audit their whole book. The nice thing is we have seen some companies ask for more now because they weren't allowed to for like the last 2 years. So it's going to take us some time to catch up. And
wow.
If you're not diversifying your book, which we always preach about and getting into other lines, if you didn't do that, you have to do it now. Like, you don't have a choice. You have to. So
John, is that the reason why? I know you're bringing a bunch of people together like you always do for your conference. Is this some of the stuff you're going to talk about at it?
It is. We haven't put out the speaker list, but I have great speakers coming. I got John Sally, 4-time NBA champion, coming out to talk. That's cool. I got Dr. Billy Williams coming out to talk.
Oh, wow. Love him.
He came out the last time. He was incredible. I got Kevin Monarchy. and Brandon Smith. Like we just
Brandon,
added those on. And I'm kind of slow getting the speakers out. I need to be better at that. At the end of the day, what I see myself as is on these conventions, like there's twofold to them, one or three. One, the speakers, you know, and the information that they can give out to help each other. The big one is the networking and us talking to each other, like finding out from each other, like what's going on, and trying to get that environment where it's face to face. And then the last thing is making sure that we're getting all the tech companies, insurance companies out there so that we can talk to them to see what's going on. You know,
Spog, is there anybody specifically that you're looking for? Or is it just any agent across anywhere, or is it geographic area?
The nice thing is, and it actually worked out really good this year. So this is the first year I decided to go national instead of just California based. So a good chunk of our people will be California because the last 13 years that's where we been operating. Really, it's that small to middle market agency, that agency that's looking to get into commercial, or honestly, like now it's like life insurance, Medicare,
right?
You know, final expense type thing. So it's definitely expanded from what it has been in the past. In the past, it was a California group, you know, mostly small, middle-sized agencies. Just coming together, you know, to see vendors in that. You know, we really worked on the speaker lineup this year too.
Well, that's good, John. I know I went to it, I don't know. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was. Probably 2018, because it was a couple years before COVID.
They didn't listen to you. You're giving them the secret sauce.
Yeah.
It's not that they didn't listen. You know, sometimes you don't see what's coming, you know, before it's coming.
Yeah,
and I think the nice thing is you're constantly, like, you know, learning and growing and in the industry and trying to stay on the forefront of what's going on.
I definitely try that stuff, but I learned it from people like yourself. I really truly did. How many days is your
So the way that we have it set up, it's May 1st through the 4th. The actual trade show itself is actually on the 2nd and 3rd. May 1st. I'm so happy about this. I don't know. You knew Chris Lejeune. And for those of you who didn't, Chris was a marketing rep with Hawksoft, and before that with other companies for many years. Last year, I went out to the AC Companies convention out in Florida. Me and his wife and my wife hung out, had plans probably for the next 15 years. Literally a day, I left, went to St. Thomas. They stayed in Florida, and like a day later, like he passed away.
Oh, shit, man.
So when that happened, I went to the funeral and I said, I want to make sure that Chris's name stays in this industry. So I told him I was going to do like the Chris Lejeune Golf Memorial Classic. And when I was doing this convention, that was the idea to do it. But I mean, honestly, like the sponsorships and the participations that we're getting is a lot less. So I didn't think it was going to happen. Kansas City Life stepped up, now a couple other agencies. So I'm really, really happy. On Monday, we're actually having that golf tournament.
That's cool.
So Monday is the golf tournament. So we're trying to tell people, if you can, come in Sunday, get ready for the golf tournament. Tuesday, Wednesday is the actual trade show. And then on that Thursday, we'll probably do a legal update. Try to find out what's going on, legislative wise in almost every state. It's
important.
How we can help each other out.
That's definitely important. Spaugy, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Working.
You think so?
Dominating the industry still. No. I do. I really love the industry. Again, I think what we're seeing, even when I say this is one of the toughest markets, it's a speed bump. And if you adapt to it, if you stay informed on what's going on, the people who lose out. And again, there's so much different trade shows and tech things and all this stuff that you can go to. If you stay stuck in your office and not getting out to these things and not talking to people, it's real easy to be a Debbie Downer on we're going away, where insurance agents aren't going to be here. I don't want to cuss on your thing, but bullshit.
You can cuss on my
there is
thing.
so much opportunity that we have out there now.
It's never been a better time to be an independent insurance agent.
You know what? That's why I like talking to you. Because a lot of people don't see it that way. I talked to somebody else the other day, and they're like, man, once we get out of this, like, you know, the premiums are going to be higher. You know, we're going to get the rate that we need. We'll be back to receiving bonuses and that. Let's face it, the companies can't get raised. They're not making money. You know, not only are we not giving them business that we need, but we're also losing money as well. You know, we can't get it when they run off of loss ratios. We can't get into these bonuses when they're underpriced.
I agree emphatically. 10 years, 15 years, you still think you'll be working?
10 years, I think I'll still be doing it. You know what? I may step back a little bit, maybe from actually owning the agency. I really enjoy the association side. Like I enjoy bringing people together and that like so much.
How about Rosa? Does Rosa still have her agency?
Rosa still has her agency. I've been trying to wean her off a little bit more. Yeah. But you know, we've probably been saying that for like the last 10 years. Her office is at 22 years right now. Okay. And again, it's a different market, but she's still doing fine.
Well, if you know Rosa, I guarantee you she's doing fine and still dominating. Hey, Spog, where can they find out more about your conference or whatever before we get off here?
Yeah, so if you just go on the website, it's BIGINSUSA.com. I got a funny story on that. We went national. Ahead. You know, we've been big independent group for like the last 13 years. So as soon as we moved it out of California and went national, I think we did a real good job of like getting the word out and promoting it because we got a thing from the Big I. So we're actually going to be changing our name to Agents Brokers United. You know, that's been my whole theme the whole time, how to unite the industry. But yeah, I'm a marketer now. I got the attention of somebody.
I guess that would claim it, wouldn't it? Anything last minute you want to say, John?
No, like I said, well, yeah, you know, you guys need to stay positive in this industry. And remember, like, a lot of times the most growth you're going to get in the industry is when there's the most disruption. And
Absolutely.
I think we have a lot of disruption right now. I think there's a ton of opportunities. Like, don't give up. Stick with it. Like, we'll make it out of this and we'll be bigger than ever.
Okay. All right. Well, I agree with you, John. I think this is going to be fantastic. I'm sorry I can't make it to your event. I know you invited me. I'm going to be at Steve Moore, his birthday. He's turning 50. And then I'm speaking. Jesus. Yeah, and then I'm speaking at Vertifor. I got a couple damn things else right in the middle of where it is. Or I would be there. I want to bring my wife out there to Vegas. She's been there a couple times, but I get to go there all the time, and now our son's graduated, so I want to bring her. John, appreciate everything you do. Thanks for being positive as well. I try my best, but as you know, we can only do so much. And I think it's important, loyal listeners, if you hear what John said. John said you need to get out of your agency, and you really, truly do. And it's so funny because it's the same story. It's those who actually do get out, then they'll go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that there was all this stuff going on. And we do. We got a lot going on. And I'm not here to badmouth anybody, but I think it's just the leaders of our industry today, whether you could call that the PIA, whether you call it the Big I, whether you call it SIAA, let's pick out all the big ones and just pick on them, right? Sometimes you can blame our carriers. You can blame whoever you want. But it has to do with, I don't think sometimes the message is being told that this is the greatest industry God ever created and that there is no better time to be an independent insurance agent. I think that we let the stuff overcloud us. They keep talking about prospecting and sales and agency relations and everything. But let's just talk about how great we are, right? Let's also talk about the fact that we have 33% market share, depending on who you're talking about. Let's talk about the fact of why we want to get market share is because 1 percentage points drives in, I don't know how many, it's like $18 or $180 million in premium is what that, and that's commission into independent insurance agents. And what people don't understand is we used to be at 31%, and now we're at 33%. And now when technology's taken over, and as you said, being independent, we can be innovative, we could be ahead of our competitors, where State Farm won't let their agents, make a TikTok video. God damn it, we can make as many TikTok fucking videos as we want to because we're independent insurance agents, and there's no better time to be an independent insurance agent. Jon Spaugy, thank you very much for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Loyal listeners, you know what I do. I do it for you. That's why I do what I do. Tell me your thoughts and tell me your ideas, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This has been Cass. He's Spaugy. We're sexy, and we're out of here.